6:53, the site of a former downtown restaurant is being transformed into a, quote, elevated concept. So we're talking about the old location for the Liberty Tap Room. The space over on the West End will reopen in September and offer a new take on comfort food in a casual setting. The Bellwether restaurant is in partnership with Urban Wren and the Greenville Drive. They're located right beside the field over on South Main Street. So if you're looking for a job, they are currently interviewing for all of those positions there.